Your Meteorologist is brought to you by Matex Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electrical.
Most of our viewing area experienced some severe weather earlier this week, and we're going to talk more about that in Ask Your Meteorologist out here in the Matex Weather Garden with Jack Gerfen. Hey, Jack.
How's it going?
I'm very well. I didn't have quite the week that you and the team did following those storms on Monday.
Yeah, we had a lot of activity with a couple thunderstorms that came through. One storm in particular was the troublesome one that gave us all of our warnings that we had, and myself and Jacob Dickey ended up being on coverage on TV for almost 4 hours straight.
Wow.
And it's not like we like to do it. It's just that the storm kept on producing tornado warnings, and when that happens, you just have to stay on it.
Well, and when it's dangerous like that, that's part of the job, is making sure people are safe. I was in Chicago for 4 or 5 days in a row, and Monday I was still there, so I was seeing all these alerts on my phone of what was happening here, but there wasn't anything going on up there. But we saw some big wall clouds and things that were rolling through certain parts of the area.
Yeah, we saw various different clouds depending on what time of the day the storm was in and where it was. And so I got some pictures here that I wanted to show.
Oh, yeah,
so we got this one right here. This is the shelf clouds. This would have been a little bit later on in the evening when it was in Mattoon area. This was from Sandy. She sent this one in. And so we get the shelf cloud when you have more of a line of storms. So those are the ones where the storm now becomes more of a strong wind maker, and that's what happened at this point.
Looks like something out of Independence Day, the movie, kind of.
Oh, yeah.
Something blowing in.
The big UFO that comes on in. Now this one from Springfield, Kate sent this one in, and this was actually the wall cloud itself on this one. So the wall cloud is you've got your severe thunderstorm. Usually, in this case, it was a supercell thunderstorm, so it's almost by itself. But then it's the lower portion of it, and that's the one that's going to be that light gray there, just north of the sky, just above the skyline. And that's our wall cloud. And when the tornado happens, it comes out of there because that's what's rotating.
Looks like some fingers kind of poking down out of that anyway. So.
Yep, and that's what's called Scud Clouds. So they look scary because they can get very low.
Yeah.
That just shows the atmosphere has, and you can even see them moving around too. Just shows the atmosphere is angry essentially.
And I think we had one question about the color of the sky during these storms. I know sometimes the sky can get funky greens and pinks.
Yep.
So what happened with that?
Essentially, it was because we have the sun setting, so the sun is coming through and shining through a thicker portion of the atmosphere. It's going to give it kind of more of that pink color. Janet is the one that asked that question. And then you also have it interacting with the cloud itself, so you've got all those water droplets, the billions and billions of water droplets within a cloud. All the sunlight hits those droplets, and it just reflects and reflects those. I'm still a little tongue-tied.
Backward, that's all right. You've had a long week.
It has reflects and refracts. There it is. The sunbeams there, and it just gives us that kind of pinkish color.
What are we briefly looking at? Do we see anything else on the horizon, severe weather-wise?
To be honest, actually, tomorrow there could be a little, kind of almost a little sneak chance there for maybe a stronger storm. We've got some showers that are coming down from the north, and by the afternoon they could strengthen into some thunderstorms, and they may be able to produce some gusty winds and some small hail. It's a very small chance that's going to happen, but one that could still happen.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. We did sort of see the pictures of that wall cloud. Is that size sort of typical?
That size was typical. Yeah. So I mean, these are big thunderstorms in and of themselves, and so each of their features will also appear very large as well, too. So it was nothing out of the ordinary, like super huge, but in person, it just looks big.
It absolutely does. Yeah. All right. If you have questions for Jack, you can ask him via Facebook, via Twitter. He's also jgerfen at WCIA.com, and you can ask your meteorologist whatever you like for next week's segment.